Hi, I'm Pastor Keith with Carroll Community Worship Center. And this past Sunday, we were talking a bit about just unity in the body of Christ and oneness and the ability to listen to one another and just have conversation with each other and I guess being willing to learn from each other. And it reminded me of another writing that I had that I wrote a while back. Actually, it was in October of 2022, and I would like to share that with you at this time. I don't think I've shared this one when I was preaching at all, but this is one that I call Common Sense. We've got nothing in common. It was a casual remark, and we all knew what he meant. We don't like the same things, our interests are varied, our lifestyles don't match. But as I thought about it, it made me wonder, perhaps we have more in common than we think. And when I say we, I'm referring to, humans. It seems like we are great at finding things that separate us. It's easy to see our differences. For better or worse, we often say, I'm not like them and they are not like me. Sometimes it's pride or insecurity, but most of the time, it's just laziness. We fail to put forth the effort to see all that we have in common and all that can make us relatable. And that's really what we're looking for, a place that we can relate. Because if we can relate, then we can have dialogue, and if we're having dialogue, it means that we're listening to one another, and then if we're listening to one another, well, that opens it up for a whole new world of possibilities. I might be open to seeing some things from another perspective, and if I am, chances are that you'll be open too. And when we're open to different, possibilities, then is when we change. And if there's anything about growth, it's about that we change in growth. So what do we have in common? I put down my pen for a while and thought on this. It's so complicated, and yet it's the simple things that we find in common. We all long for acceptance. We all want to believe we matter. We all have fears and doubts and dreams and insecurities and questions and answers. We've all felt pain and heartache and breakthrough and accomplishment. We've all felt connection. We've all felt completely alone. We've all got these bodies, and we've all been betrayed by these bodies at times. This flesh has put us in awkward situations, both due to its natural, normal, and sometimes embarrassing physical functions. Sometimes our bodies hurt, and they don't do what they're supposed to do. And it demands to be pleased. It demands to do what it feels like doing, or not doing, at any given time. Oh yeah, and we all have minds and wills and emotions. They just often think and want and feel different things. It is amazing the amount of unity and power there is when two people think and want and feel the exact same thing at the exact same time. But we aren't often in that space. But regarding our minds, we all know what it's like to have thoughts in our heads that we can't get rid of. We don't want to be thinking it, but there it is, running laps in our craniums, asking for high fives and a drink of water as it takes another spin around our brain. We all know what it's like to want something so much that it hurts. We feel like we can't survive until we get that thing. It becomes a drink in us. It becomes a drive in us that nothing else seems to matter, and we're so focused on it that our lives become out of balance and our world feels tilted. Perhaps it's a longing for a loved one or just the need for the latest iPhone. We know what it's like to be consumed, and the world simply sees us as that, consumers. And we all know what it's like to feel excitement and joy and pleasure and pain and heartache and loss. We've all felt hope and peace, and we've all felt trapped and scared. Just writing all of this makes me feel like life seems complicated or at least unstable. 1 minute you're on top of the world, high-fiving all your friends, and the next minute you're wondering where your friends are. But look around you. There are potential friends all over the place. You have so much in common with so many people. We just have to be willing to open up, become vulnerable, and get past the surface. We've got to let others see inside of us, and when we do, they'll let us in. And I'm sure that we'll find that we have much more in common than we thought. Well, I hope you enjoyed this writing and that it gives you something to think about as you go about, as you meet new people and are willing to be stretched and make new friends wherever you go. So anyway, thanks for watching.